They scan your head like you're a cashier and I'm a bunch of bananas. I'm not bananas, you are.
That's not really funny to people who've lost their kids to this vaccine. How dare you be so flippant, man?
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser.
After our last video, the comments exploded. You wanted a deeper dive into the never-ending soap opera known as Bill Maher versus Whoopi Goldberg. So we listened. And what we uncovered wasn't just drama, it was a full-scale cultural train wreck. This isn't a petty celebrity feud. It's a clash between free speech and outrage culture, comedy and cancellation, logic and emotional meltdown. One wrong sentence and everything's on the line. And spoiler alert, Hollywood wasn't ready for Bill Maher's calm, surgical counterpunches.
Everyone knows Corona is no walk in the park because you literally can't walk in the park. But at some point, the daily drumbeat of depression and terror veers into panic porn. Enough with the life will never be the same headlines. And stop showing us this. You know, everything looks scary when you magnify it 1,000 times. Here's a pubic hair. Boom!
Let's rewind nearly 3 years, back when people were panic buying toilet paper and treating every cough like a death sentence. While most celebrities were preaching endless lockdowns and booster worship, Bill Maher said something radical. Maybe it's time to live again. Stay cautious, adapt, but don't stay terrified forever. To the outraged crowd, that was unforgivable. Balance had become a crime.
Not really funny to people who've lost their kids to this vaccine, or people who've lost family members or dear friends to this. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody. Because if you're the one who's not paying attention and you're coughing and sneezing, you don't want to then stay out of the public, man. This is not, nobody wants this. And I think he's forgetting that people are still at risk who cannot get vaccinated. People who can't get that. Little kids under the age of 5. Yeah. Or people with health conditions. How dare you be so flippant, man?
That's when Whoopi Goldberg jumped in. Always alert when someone steps outside the approved script, she wasted no time attacking Maher. How dare he suggest normal life should return? She went after him like he'd violated sacred doctrine. But here's the twist, she didn't hurt him. She helped him. Fans rallied behind Maher and ABC quietly benched Whoopi. Karma suddenly was trending.
Saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
In this story, Maher was the calm predator. Whoopi was the overconfident hunter who showed up with a toy weapon. She tried to cancel him using moral outrage, but he flipped the script and exposed the hypocrisy. Once again, the cancel crowd tripped over itself. Maher walked away stronger. Whoopi walked away bruised and suspended.
Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
You'd think she learned. She didn't. Next came one of the biggest blunders of her career, claiming the Holocaust wasn't about race. Yes, really? The backlash was immediate and global. Jewish organizations, historians, and viewers were stunned. ABC executives suddenly remembered that words have consequences. Instead of immediately owning it, Whoopi doubled down.
American experience tends to be based on skin.
Yes. And so that is what race means to me. When you talk about being a racist, I was saying you can't call this racism. This was evil. This wasn't based on the skin. You couldn't tell who was Jewish. They had to delve deeply to
The result? Another suspension. Another scandal. Another lesson ignored. But here's the surprising part. Bill Maher didn't pile on. He didn't celebrate her downfall. He defended her right to speak even when she was wrong. For him, free speech mattered more than revenge.
Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Maher showed restraint the outraged crowd never shows him. If the roles were reversed, they would have destroyed him in minutes. So instead they tried a new tactic. Invite Maher onto The View. Trap him. Twist his words. Corner him. Humiliate him. But they underestimated him.
Different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
The ambush failed. Maher saw it coming. While the hosts tried to gang up on him, he stayed calm and composed. He was there to promote his book, but it quickly turned into an interrogation. Still, he sidestepped every trap with precision. What was meant to be a takedown became a masterclass in composure.
Doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Then Maher did what he does best. He told the truth. He called out virtue signaling. He exposed hypocrisy. He challenged performative outrage. Progress, he said, doesn't mean silencing people. It means debating ideas openly. You could feel the shift. The hosts had no real comeback.
Should be against the law. You should not be able to lie to the American knowingly. What do we do as Americans to say this is not okay?
You'd have to say it's the First Amendment.
Yeah. I think you... Well,
the First Amendment doesn't allow you to willingly...
When direct attacks failed, Whoopi changed strategy. She went after his principles. She painted free speech as dangerous, reckless, outdated. But once again, Maher calmly shut it down. Questioning ideas, he reminded everyone, is essential to democracy. And once again, her move backfired.
The commencement address at Berkeley, someone has to check in with the people who tried to have my speech canceled and make sure they made it through okay.
Maher stood firm while the panel threw everything at him. He wasn't just surviving, he was winning. The so-called champions of tolerance were openly trying to silence dissent. The irony was impossible to miss. Fans started asking the obvious question. Why does Whoopi keep getting free passes? Then came the bakery incident. Whoopi complained about receiving burnt cupcakes and hinted at mistreatment. Internet detectives did what they do best. They investigated. Turns out it was just an old bakery with aging equipment. No conspiracy. No discrimination. Just broken ovens.
People up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning. The sacrifices they've made, the holidays they've missed with their families. To make Staten Island better, they have sacrificed for 145 years. And frankly, the people who defamed the Holtzman family should apologize to the Holtzman family for making stuff up to suit their needs. Not everybody wakes up every day and thinks about politics. A good business person doesn't care about anybody's politics.
Social media erupted. People roasted her for attacking a small family business. Of all targets, she chose a bakery. A bakery older than most TV networks. Instead of looking relatable, she looked ridiculous. Lesson learned, never mess with bakers. They always have receipts.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. I literally just work here.
Next came the Working Class Act. Despite being worth tens of millions, Whoopi tried to present herself as struggling like everyday Americans. Viewers weren't buying it. Comments flooded in mocking her tone-deaf remarks. Struggling? On millions a year? Please.
Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No, it's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear, because, one of the things I'm sorry, I just jumped you, I'm sorry, but one of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that getting facts out through the media seems to be very difficult.
Then she pushed celebrities to publicly endorse Biden, claiming the media made it hard for Democrats to get their message out. That raised eyebrows, especially in a media environment known for protecting certain stories. Maher wasn't impressed. He called out the double standard.
Inappropriate to bury the Hunter Biden.
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't follow this.
Saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MS.
He pointed out how some scandals were ignored while others were endlessly covered. Trump's mistakes dominated headlines. Hunter Biden's issues? Suddenly invisible. Even Charlemagne refused to play along, and that only irritated Whoopi more.
They were calling Trump a threat to democracy, and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him. That's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed his
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a sudden?
When Charlemagne stood his ground, Whoopi defended Biden's family behavior as understandable. Promises about no one above the law suddenly came with exceptions. Charlemagne pushed back. Principles either apply to everyone or they apply to no one.
At some point, you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out.
They're
They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen,
they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying.
Instead of addressing the contradiction, Whoopi brushed it off. Moral standards, it seemed, were flexible, convenient when needed. That's where she and Maher fundamentally differ. He sticks to his beliefs. She adjusts hers depending on the moment.
Worth the pain? Is free speech worth the pain? And is it really painful? Is it really painful? If you don't like this guy, don't go to his lecture.
Maher has always defended free speech, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts. He challenges everyone, left, right, and center. That's why he's controversial. And that's why he's respected.
Well, if you're a liberal, you're supposed to be for free speech. That's free speech for the speech you hate. That's what free speech means.
In the end, Maher represents consistency. Whoopi represents convenience. One confronts hypocrisy. The other navigates around it. For now, things are quiet. But with personalities like these, peace never lasts. Another clash is coming. And when it does, the internet will explode. Again.